love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, Mr. Motor, I'm a coffee spot.
Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
We're back, everybody. Did you miss us? I missed us. I didn't miss us.
I missed me.
Did you? No. Dustin and I have spent way too much time together the last week and a half, but it's good. It's good.
You notice the distance between us on the table is now separated by an extra 3 inches. There's a reason.
But we're happy to be back. Welcome to Fueled by Death Show, everybody. This is the companion show to episode 89 of the podcast coming out tomorrow, and we'll get into details about that pretty soon. In case you forgot, I am the Incredible Jeff.
And I'm California D-Man.
No one calls him that. But you can start, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you could just call me Hollywood.
Oh,
because that's what they do in Hollywood.
Oh, man, this is already off the rails. It's okay. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's super easy. We love Instagram, but you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And we gotta say, okay, you know what? Let's start it like this. If this is your first time joining the show, this is how it goes down. Every show, every live show that we put out on Facebook every single Wednesday night, we like to give away something. Usually it's a mug. Sometimes it's something else. This time, we're giving away a set, and we're giving away the Diner Mug meme set. This isn't the last one.
This is the one that just sold out, and so it's not the newest one.
So it's the one before that.
You can't even buy this one. We do have some left over on Amazon, but we don't have any left over on deathwishcoffee.com. But if you want a pair, you could win one.
All you got to do, share this show right now as it's performing live, and drop a comment. Drop 10 comments. Drop 1,000 comments in the comments section during the show. One lucky comment when the show is over will be chosen at random, and that lucky person will win this set of mugs. Awesome. I want a coffee, a tattoo, and a vacation, and I like to party, and by party I mean drink coffee with no pants on. Great mugs. They got the logo on the other side, too. Dishwasher safe, made in America.
By the way, I don't necessarily condone drinking coffee without pants.
Oh, it's so dangerous. So dangerous.
That's
That's
your reproductive organs that you're rolling the dice on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just make sure to have a Don't drop coffee on your crotch, man.
Don't drop coffee on your crotch.
Especially if you're not wearing pants.
Oh, man, yeah. But, yeah, all you got to do, share the show, drop a comment. One lucky winner at the end of the show. We'll send these mugs right out to you. And we want to start off by thanking our good friend, Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
He's the voice actor on this show and 1,000 other voices out in the world. Seriously, go follow him at Brock Vox across all the social platforms. He's doing some really, really cool stuff in the realm of voice acting, whether it be cartoons or amusement park rides or video games. It's some awesome things he's got going on this year. And we cannot thank Brock enough, not only for what he does on this show, but for putting us up and putting up with us for an entire 8 days out in L.A.
Jeff, you just stole my joke.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was a joke. I didn't think it was that funny, but I stole it anyways.
Jokes don't have to be funny to be a joke.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, we just got back from our trip out there. We banked 16 interviews in 6 days. We're going to have, that means 16 incredibly awesome new episodes of Fueled by Deathcast for you guys. And then even a 17th, which is going to be the Before You Die SoCal Edition episode. That's going to kind of chronicle our whole trip, but you're going to have to give me a little time on that one. I have over 30 hours of footage to kind of go through.
And listen, we had such a crazy adventure. It was, for Jeff and I, it was insanely mind-blowing. And what we want to make sure that we do with the Before You Die SoCal Edition is that you walk away with some of the feeling that we walked away with. Because, I mean, there was just nothing like it. There has been no trip made like this before. Nobody has done what Jeff and I did. Ever.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of people we talked to in the short amount of time, the different walks of life they're all from, because they all want to talk to us because we're Death Wish Coffee. the experiences that we had, the B-roll that we got for some of these episodes is incredible. It's going to blow your mind. And it's just really cool. We've now given ourselves a little bit of a buffer. We've got episodes for months out that you guys are going to see and hear, which is going to be awesome. And but the train doesn't stop. We're going to keep making episodes, keep recording guests and stuff like that, and it just is going to help make this show that much better. And we say it every week, we can't thank you guys enough. We really can't, for watching this live show and enjoying the podcast, because it's a labor of love what we get to do here on this show and on the podcast, getting to talk to these people and put this content out for you guys, and that you guys are just watching and listening and enjoy it and share it means the frickin' world to us.
Well, your support gives us support, which means we can do bigger things like this trip to LA and make even more amazing content, which will get right to you guys. We'll get more support and do even bigger things. And right now, we're just snowballing, and we're just getting started.
Just getting started. Some of our favorite episodes to date, I think, were probably recorded while we were out there because of just some of the experiences and the people we got to talk to.
100%. Those were the most amazing experiences of my entire life.
But if you go back into season 1 of this show, we have had some incredible experiences all around. If you're just learning about Fueled by Deathcast, go on back there and listen to some of those earlier episodes. We're a little green, which is nice, but some of the people and the conversations that we have are some of the coolest conversations ever. And one of them is an episode that we talk about a lot on this actual show, and it was, I can't remember the number, but I think it was in the 20s. It was when we talked with Claire Wineland last year for Ricky's Ride. Ricky Rackman rides across America on a motorcycle and raises money for different charities. This year it's Stop Soldier Suicide, which is awesome.
And Death Wish is always there to support him and help him raise those donations and sell crazy mugs.
Last year it was for Claire'sPlaceFoundation.org, which is a nonprofit set up by Claire to help families dealing with the effects of cystic fibrosis, a disease that she has had since childhood, and she was basically told she wasn't going to live past 10. She celebrated her 21st birthday recently. We talked about it on this show. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update as well. She's been desperately trying to see if she's been healthy enough and can get on a waiting list to get a new lung, which will give her a new lease on life, basically.
New lungs.
Yeah, because that will help her. You know, it's not going to cure anything, but it's going to help her live a much normal life. She's not going to have the air, in her nose and wheeling around the air all the time. And she won't be as short of breath. She'll have a new lease on life from these lungs. As of recording this episode, only yesterday, she got the call early in the morning that lungs were available. She went and underwent surgery and everything. As I'm speaking to you, and while I know, everything is fine. She is in the recovery room. She has a long road to recovery. Obviously, I can't even imagine what it's like to get a new lung and your body dealing with that. But all the doctors say that it seemed to has went great, which is crazy when you think about it. We live in the future now, people. Where like a lung transplant is like, yep, A-okay. Like 20 years ago, it was like, no.
Yeah,
like
absolutely
you're
not.
crazy. 30 years ago, like 50 years ago was science fiction. Like now it's just like, yep, great. It worked. So
and we can't be happier that Claire has had a successful procedure, and we send her all of our love and support, and we really wish her the speediest of recoveries, and we can't wait to hear from her next. We're so excited, man.
It is true, and hopefully we'll get a chance to speak with her again when she's, all 100% and back on her feet. But I wanted to share with you guys a clip from the episode that we had with her on Fueled by Deathcast, because, again, it was one of the coolest conversations we've ever had.
It changed my life.
Yeah, it changed our lives, and this is just a little taste of that. And if you enjoy what you hear, you can go back and listen to the whole thing. But here's this clip.
Well, I mean, the truth is, I've always been, even since I was little, I've always been kind of an over talker. I was born with the gift of gab. Just came out of the womb blabbering.
You and Jeff.
So at dinner tables and stuff, at family dinners and stuff, I'd get everyone to be quiet, and I'd put on shows, and so I always was just kind of liked sharing stories and talking about experience. And as I grew up with CF, I kind of started to realize that the way in which people the way in which sick people are actually represented and talked about in society is really gross. It's really like, it's degrading in a way. Yeah. And I don't think anyone really, and I think it's hard to see if you're not someone that has lived with it. It's hard to see, because ever since I was little, I've grown up around people who are, completely healthy, who, meet me and feel immense pity and tell me they're sorry and put all of their, their shame and their guilt and their sadness onto me, and say they're sorry that I must be living such a hard life. Meanwhile, I'm over there in my hospital room just, having the time of my life, listening to music, doing art, whatever, feeling like life is great. And so it kind of starts to have this effect on you where you believe what people say, and you start feeling like you should be miserable because you're sick. So I got to a point where I just realized that people who are sick are very dehumanized. People don't see them as full, complex beings with wide ranges of emotions and life experience and, and valid things to share with the world. So I thought, maybe, because I was a teenager at the time, and so, I watched way too much YouTube, way more than I should have. And so I thought, hey, maybe that's a good place for me to kind of try and humanize people who are sick and to make them more three-dimensional and talk about the things that don't normally get talked about. Because I think the truth is the reason people are so weird around people who are sick, and the reason none of us really feel comfortable and none of us really know what to say, is because, first of all, because no one talks about it, no one shares their experience, I think, in kind of genuine, honest ways. And I also think just because we're freaked out of it in ourselves, you know what I mean? We live in a world where there's this kind of notion that if we get to a certain state of health or a certain state of, where we have enough money or we have the right relationships or we have the right jobs or whatever it is, right, that there's something that we're going to attain when we get to that point. We're going to be happier. We're going to be better people. We're going to whatever. And that kind of creates this weird hamster wheel mentality where we're all just, we're on like a treadmill trying to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And fundamentally, as someone who's been sick my entire life, will always be sick. I'll die sick. I'm never going to be healthy, but I'm still 100% okay. You know what I mean? I'm okay. I'm just like everyone else. I'm having human experiences. I'm having pain and suffering and joy and living on my own and like all of that. You know what I mean? I'm still living and it's still fine and beautiful. And you know what I mean? And so I think it's important to realize that, if you take health off the table for people who are sick, there's still a life there for them.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week and this week only on deathwishcoffee.com until September 5th, the year of 2018. If you type in the secret discount code CKY, Jeff, spell it.
That's CKY.
That will nail you 15% off of the sock bundle that we have available on deathwishcoffee.com. You'll have a little discount code area. You just type in those 3 letters, and you magically get free money.
Yeah, love these socks. We've been doing socks now for the last couple of years, and I don't know what it is. We're correct me if I'm wrong. We're still working with the same. We're still working with the same sock company, right?
Golden Gate Hosiery.
Yeah, but these are just a little bit better. A little bit nicer. They stay up on your feet, on your legs more.
I haven't had to pull these up once today.
Yeah. And they come in the 2 styles, 2-pack, 15% off. Cannot beat it. Use that code CKY. And if you're wondering why it's CKY, we'll get into that later in the episode.
Science!
Oh, it's science time. I missed science the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I feel like I just don't learn when we don't do this.
I know, right?
I just stay the same intelligence until the next podcast. We go bloop.
So I got kind of 2 topics that are the same topic for science this week, and it is, no surprise, in space. First up, this is very, very exciting, everybody. Liquid water ice has been confirmed on the moon.
Whoa.
Now, we knew that liquid water ice was on the moon, buried deep underneath the surface, and I'll actually explain that out a little bit. But this is new. This is different. A team of researchers led by Dr. Shuai Lee of the University of Hawaii and Brown University have observed definitive evidence of the surface of the moon with exposed water ice in the polar regions, the South and the North Pole. This finding is very distinct from other airless bodies in our inner solar system, such as the planet Mercury or the moon-like dwarf planet Ceres that is in the asteroid belt. this could actually give researchers a unique and new perspective on the origins of the moon, because it has things that, other bodies like this in the solar system do not have. The researchers looked at the data from M3, NASA's moon mineralogy mapper aboard the Chandrayaan-1 spacecraft. Now, what's interesting about all of this findings is the Chandrayaan-1 spacecraft is India's first mission to the moon, and it was launched in 2008. And it was deploying the M3, and it was supposed to orbit the moon and work for 2 years. After almost a little over 300 days, we lost it. We lost contact with it, and we feared the worst and feared that its systems had failed.
Event horizon.
Yeah, we feared that the worst, that its systems had failed, and it was gone. This craft right here is 1.5 meters on every square side. So think of like those tiny smart cars you see, and like chop one in half, and that's how big this thing is. Hopefully nobody's dead outside of the studio. And there was just a big bang in the studio or on the other wall.
Jesus.
Basically, so we thought we lost this, and it was specifically set up to look for water on the moon and look for this kind of data. Lo and behold, in 2017 of March of last year, we found the thing. We found it again, orbiting the moon. Its systems are done. They didn't have that much time to really
So
go
it was
with that.
doing what it was supposed to do all along.
It was, and we got that data back, and we've been going through that data. And this is the thing that found water on these polar ice caps.
Whoa.
Which is really, really cool.
Maybe it's lying. It's been lying all along.
It collected data that not only picked up the reflective properties we'd expect from ice, but was able to directly measure the distinctive way its molecules absorb infrared light, so it can differentiate between liquid water or vapor and solid ice. And again, what's interesting about this is we know that there is in 2009, NASA confirmed that there is hundreds of tons of water ice under the surface of Mars. So if we want to hopefully go and make a moon base and all that stuff, we'd have the resources there, but a lot of it's buried. So we're going to have to make drills or bring drills and drill down to the surface and get this water. This stuff that you're seeing in the blue on the polar regions, millimeters of moon dust on it. So you're tripping over water. Water's there. So it's readily accessible. We don't have to drill for it. We can literally just pick it up and utilize it.
Could it be that the moon's just a giant ice ball?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Right. I mean, we're learning so much about it. So the scientists had this to say: most of the newfound water ice lies in the shadows of craters near the poles, where the warmest temperatures never reach above minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of the very small tilt of the moon's rotation axis, sunlight never reaches these regions. With enough ice sitting at the surface, within the top few millimeters, water would possibly be accessible as a resource for future expeditions to explore and even stay on the moon, and potentially easier to access than the water detected beneath the lunar surface. That's what's so impressive about this. Like, we knew water was up there, but now if we want to go and immediately start, working on the moon, which we really should, we can immediately because water's available. That's one of the biggest resources we need to find. We've talked about it on the show, colonizing Mars. That's going to be a big hurdle, trying to colonize Mars. And again, we're going to have to go to the poles and get that water ice as well. But I mean, we never thought it possible with the moon.
And one way to do that is to build a base on moon. And the best way to build a base on moon is to have water there ready for us to use.
It's true. And this has now sparked the talks that we all have been waiting for, finally. The new NASA administrator, Jim Bridenstine, who took over in April, stated that we need to be looking hard at going back to the moon with a more permanent mindset. And he's carrying out President Donald Trump's direction of returning astronauts to the moon. Now, I know the joke you're going to make. Space Force! It's an unfortunate name. The good idea behind all of that is that finally the government, which has taken money away from NASA for a very long time, is like, okay, we want to spend money on this and we want to have space exploration. We want to be sending researchers and astronauts from American soil up to space and hopefully to the moon to further our space exploration. It is exactly what we need, and we've just been waiting on the right people to say that's the thing that needs to happen. In fact, Vice President Mike Pence had a press conference at NASA Johnson Space Center and expressed all of this very well worded out, and is like, this is what's going to happen by 2024. We are going to have humans working on the moon.
That's amazing.
That's excellent. That's like Kennedy saying we will go to the moon in this decade and more, and we did in the 60s. So it's like we're getting that. We're finally getting the backing. Science, everybody. Science is winning the day.
Science wins. That's all I care about.
Bridenstine said we need to get to more parts of the moon than we have ever gotten before. When you look at the Apollo program, we had 6 landings, all in the equatorial regions of the moon, and we didn't get the full perspective, the full understanding, the science, the knowledge. And Bridenstine said that the key to opening up the moon and going to Mars, exactly like D-Man just said, is building gateways, small space station-like platforms that serve as lunar orbit outposts or transports for points outward into the solar system.
Could you imagine working on a base like that?
Crazy.
Like, I guess you would do like a year or two, like, stint of duty on the moon, and then they would transfer people back and forth.
Yeah, it'd be like the military. It would be, and again, the joke is Space Force, but that's kind of the idea behind it is that we need this military mindset. It's like, okay, like we send people to our bases all over the world for stints of time. Now one of those bases is going to be on the damn moon.
It's amazing. It should have happened a long time ago, if you ask me. A long
time. It should have happened right after the 60s, and we unfortunately didn't make that happen.
As soon as we could go as far as the moon, we should have been putting structures up and started, making some bases there so we could just go out further.
Exactly. Bridenstine went on to say that he wants to make it clear that the Gateway won't be another International Space Station. For those of you who don't know, 2020 will mark the end of the life of the International Space Station, and we're still figuring out what we're going to do. What's the next step? Is it a new space station? Is it building off of that? And that's not what the original Gateway is going to be. It's going to support, it's not going to be permanently crewed, and it's going to support 30 to 60-day science missions. But it will work congruently with either a base on the moon or another space station where people will be living and working for extended periods of time. A second Gateway, though, which might carry astronauts to Mars, is planned and proposed to hopefully be working by 2030, which is very, very exciting. Bridenstine finally said, the first Gateway is about the moon, but I think the second Gateway, being a deep space transport, again using commercial and international partners, enables us to get to Mars. What we don't want to do is go to the surface of the moon, proving that we can do it again, and then just be done.
Yeah.
That's not the plan.
That's kind of what's already happened, and that's not getting us further.
Right. No, the moon is a great stepping stone. It has resources we need to there, like water. And if you go back and listen to the Coffee and Space episode that we did when I got to go down to and tour NASA, I got to see actual 3D printers that they're working on in conjunction with the military to go up to the moon, utilize the moon mud and moon dust, and print concrete out of it. So we'll actually be able to make structures and things as soon as all we got to do, instead of rocketing tons of stuff up there, we just got to rocket this 3D printer, and then all of the materials are the moon.
The thing that I'm curious about is that if we start, in 10, 20, 30 years, start looking at, actually colonizing Mars.
Yes.
And we start looking at terraforming that planet, will we terraform the moon before that?
Probably not. I think the resources, just because to terraform something, the problem with terraforming Mars is its atmosphere is thin, so we'd have to enact some sort of greenhouse gas to thicken that atmosphere if we're going to terraform it. There's no atmosphere on the moon. It would be a losing battle from the beginning. I'm not saying that science couldn't do it, but it would take a hell of a lot more time to do it.
So it's actually more difficult to terraform moon than Mars.
Moon will be more like the science fiction that you've always seen. It's going to be moon bases that are just gigantic structures, like on the moon that people live and work in. And if you want to go out into the moon, think Futurama, you're still going to have to put on a spacesuit and kind of bound around on the moon, like they did in the 60s.
Oh, man, I cannot think of a future where there's moon and bases and all things happening, and then just this attitude of, like, there are no laws on the moon. And it's just like...
the moon is a lawless place.
Yeah, it's just like renegades and criminals and gamblers just run amok on the moon.
I love it. You and I will run the first casino on the moon. I'm in.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it.
You do that with me?
Yeah, I do that with you.
Oh, man.
It's going to happen. But science, everybody. We're winning with science. It's good. It's good.
Good, good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the week.
All right, guys, it's time for another Death Star of the week, and we're going OG again this week. I'm running out of OGs, but it's okay. We're going to get to you new Gs soon, too. That's not a thing. I just made that a thing, and it's not a thing. But this week, just like every other week, we use this segment so everybody out there can meet a fan of Death Wish Coffee and what Death Wish Coffee means to them, really. It's a really fun segment. And this week, you're going to meet Steven Frith. And if you don't know Steven Frith, he is over on the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page. He also has his own page, Steve-O's unofficial Death Wish Coffee community page, I think, where it's much more about the mug life and everybody trades and sells their mugs. And it's kind of like baseball cards. It's crazy, you know, like people get like a couple mugs and I'll give you a Teddy Bear for 2, you know, Jack Scout or whatever, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's craziness over there, but I love his page. And Steve's been a fan of the company for a very long time, and if you've never met him, you're going to meet him right now. Hey, Steven, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. It's awesome to talk with you.
I'm glad you guys called. I'm honored.
Yeah, like I said, every week we've been doing this Death Star segment, and I've been kind of going through a lot of the OG fans of Death Wish, and you've been one I've been savoring because you've been a fan for as long as I can remember this company. Can you tell us when you first heard about Death Wish Coffee?
I heard about Death Wish Coffee in mid-2012. Once upon a time, I used to go to Starbucks quite a bit, but I was tired of their poor service and overpriced coffee, so I just went online and started looking up strong coffee, and I saw Death Wish, and of course they gave back that money back guarantee, but I never thought I wouldn't like it, and once I tried it, I never went back to anything else.
That's awesome. In 2012, that was right after the company started. You've seen the entire journey of this company. That's pretty rad. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you based?
I'm based out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Awesome. And you're enjoying that coffee still. What does coffee fuel you to do?
Coffee enables me to be able to do my work and get up in the morning and have the energy to walk around and just do everything I need to do, because really without coffee, I think I'd be looking sad throughout the day. I need that energy boost.
Hell yeah. So speaking of coffee then, how much coffee do you think you drink in a day?
I'd be brewing it probably like 2 or 3 16-ounce cups in my Chemex every day.
Wow, that's awesome. That's about what I'm drinking. Is Chemex your go-to brew method?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for the flavor and for the strength.
That's awesome. Yeah, it really does. It definitely, gives you the best flavor profile, and then I think it definitely makes the strongest cup of coffee. I keep saying I'm going to buy one myself. I'm going to pull that trigger one day. That's really, really cool. So on the other side of it, you've been watching this company and a fan of this company since the beginning. I know you're part of what we love to refer to as mug lifers. And so what was the first mug that you got from Death Wish Coffee?
The first mug I got was the OG camper mug.
Wow, that is a highly sought after mug. That's one like I don't even remember when that mug came out. That's so cool. That's a piece of history right there. And since then, I know you have you totally enjoyed buying the mugs. You've helped people find mugs. I'm gonna shout out your Facebook page, which I believe you're telling me you're starting a new page, correct?
Right. It's a little bit different than the old title, but I'm working on getting it back more how I used to have it.
That's awesome, because we always shout out the official coffee community page over there on Facebook, but yours, Steve-O's unofficial page, is more like I equate it to like the old school days of baseball cards. Like you guys are really like a community of people who are rabid about collecting these mugs, so people are selling them to other people or trading mugs for other mugs, and it's mug pandemonium over there. It's awesome. So out of all of the time that you've been a fan of this company, do you have a favorite mug we've done?
The Larry mug has always been one of my favorites because of the design and everything, and I also like those size mugs so I can have a nice large cup of coffee. But one of my next favorites would have been the Beast mug that they gave us around Super Bowl time that a selected few of us got.
Yeah, that was an awesome little surprise that the company did for you guys for helping us win that Super Bowl commercial. But yeah, I'm with you. I like those bigger mugs like the Larry. Like I want a mug that you can put a whole pot of coffee in. I just think that's
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the way to go for sure. So you've seen everything we've done. You've been a fan of us since 2012. Is there something we haven't tried that you'd like to see us try?
Well, for the longest time, I always wanted a tank top, but you guys finally came out with that, so I got me one of those. But I would say a pair of shoes would be cool to have.
That is a really good idea. A pair of shoes. I would love to wear like a cool Converse Death Wish coffee shoe or something like that. It might be
nice.
It might be a little tough to do it on our own, just because everybody's feet are different sizes, and to be able to stock all of the shoe sizes, it would be a little tough. But maybe down the road we could do like a partnership with like Converse or Vans or some cool shoe company out there where we could do a Death Wish, branded shoe, but they could handle all the logistics of everything. That'd be
maybe some kind of like pre-order. That way they're only going to make so many certain sizes. That way nobody has nothing to sit around for too long, like you were saying, as far as the sizes go.
That's a really good idea. Oh, I want to see that happen for sure, because we've done so much other stuff, shirts and hats and hoodies and all sorts of stuff. We've never done a shoe. We got to complete the ensemble, right? Like that's the whole point. Yep. And speaking of that, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you're always rocking our hats and our gear, which is awesome, and you've been a big brand ambassador for Death Wish since, obviously, the beginning. What's the response like when people come up to you and ask about Death Wish?
They always ask me, is the coffee good, or the coffee is strong, or where they can get it, and so I go on and tell them, it's organic, and it is definitely strong and good.
That's
and
awesome.
They ask me where they can go to the store, but I tell them, before it's usually just online, since you guys are based out of New York, but now recently being at Walmart, it's a little bit easier to kind of point people to go get it if they don't want to go through the whole mailing process.
Yeah, for sure. And we deal with it too, like I'll be like in an airport or something wearing a Death Wish hat, and people will be like, what the hell is that? Like I get stopped by TSA sometimes, like, what is that? And but has the response changed with the growth of the company? Do you ever meet people who know the product and the company now?
Oh yeah, I've met a lot of people here and there that have heard about it, they haven't necessarily, drank it or been living it like me and you do a lot, but there's definitely a lot more people now that ever since Super Bowl, and you guys are getting bigger and bigger by the day, so the name's definitely getting out there more now.
That's awesome. Well, I can officially say that is really because of people like you, Steven. You've been, again, such a huge ambassador and fan of us, and have helped spread that word a lot. And for those, I'll end it on this. For those of you guys watching and listening on the show this week who don't know, there is a hashtag out there, hashtag DWCC Biggest Fan, I believe it is, right?
Yep, that's my tag.
That's your tag, and you totally deserve that. I can't thank you enough, Steven, for taking the time to talk to us today on the Death Star.
Sure, anytime. I love to talk to you guys.
Awesome.
The Fueled by Death guest.
All right, guys. This week, I'm really excited for you guys to hear this episode of the podcast tomorrow, and it's going to be featuring our death guest, Jess Margera of the band CKY. There he is, killing it on the drums. They're actually on tour right now, and if you've never heard of the band Camp Kill Yourself, or Camp, don't worry. They were underground punk scene for a very long time, but they
have some hits.
They definitely hit it big. Thanks to their videos that they started to put out. They would put out CKY videos. And they actually were born from Jess's brother, Bam Margera, who you probably know from Jackass. Back when he was breaking into skating, everybody would make skate videos, and he'd make skate videos, and they would put their music behind the skate videos. And people was like, where do I get this CD? This shit's awesome. And they started to blow up from that. And then born from those videos and the CKY videos, kind of coalesced this weird camaraderie of friends that once they found the ringleader Johnny Knoxville, they all kind of were like, well, I guess we're going to do something crazy, and they made Jackass, which was one of the most successful things MTV, I think, has ever done.
It changed the shape of the future for the worst.
It changed reality television, that's for sure.
It changed the internet. It changed
it changed everything.
Everything.
It changed everything, and we talk about that on the show with Jess. We also talk about how great it is to be able to caffeinate a band like this on tour. In fact, I think I got a picture of, there's Matt, the bassist. Actually, there's Adam in the back, but or Chad, I'm sorry. There's Matt, the bassist, rocking a Death Wish shirt. They've been rocking the shirts and the socks on tour and saying that their fans are really liking the pairing of Death Wish and CKY, which is a lot of fun to hear. And yeah, we talk about that. We talk about the videos. Jess might be striking up a deal with Netflix on that content, which would be really cool. We talk about the new album. We talk about the tour. We talk about all good things punk rock, and just he was awesome to take time out of tour to give us a call on the phone and to be on the show. And I've been really excited for this episode to come out. And we got a sneak peek of tomorrow's brand new podcast with Jess Margera of CKY right here.
We didn't have the traditional, like, get a record deal, get, you know, a song on the radio or something like that. We were completely out of nowhere. We sold all our records in, like, skate shops and surf shops and stuff like that. Yeah. It was very strange. And, you know, tied in with the CKY videos, just created this confusion of people are like, what is CKY? Is it a skate company? Is it a skate video? Is it a band? It's like, well, it's all those things.
Yeah.
And in that case, the confusion caused people to, like, dig deeper into the band, and then they definitely got, you know, into it more, which worked out pretty cool.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And, I mean, even on that, like, speaking on, you know, like, with the videos and how you guys kind of got into the consciousness with those videos, I got to know, first of all, because at this point, we're in 2018, and anybody who doesn't know the CKY videos is been living under a rock, and they should go and find them on YouTube or wherever the hell they live right now. But for someone who lived all that stuff, do you ever revisit those times? Do you ever watch those videos anymore, like, as yourself?
I got like 4 kids now. So right. They're getting old enough that they can watch that stuff. So
no,
I have been revisiting it, and yeah, it's pretty trippy.
I bet.
Going through all those old videos, man. It's funny because it was like before YouTube and all that, you know. So it was like, I don't know if someone could do that now.
No,
you know?
I don't think so because of YouTube.
Happy birthday, surprise! I'm naked.
All righty, guys, it's birthday time, and before we get into it, I just want to take a second and say, if you haven't already, share this episode if you're watching it live. Drop a comment in those comments on Facebook. One lucky comment will win this set of diner mugs. It's pretty rad. I want a coffee, a tattoo, and a vacation, and I like to party. And by party, I mean drink coffee with no pants on, which is very dangerous, but you can enjoy it in these mugs. And like I said, one lucky winner. All you got to do is comment and share. But let's get into some birthdays. First up on Sunday, September 2nd. I can't believe September's around the corner already. It's crazy. Mr. KEANU Reeves is going to be 54 years old. KEANU has got a new resurgence of his career. I mean, a career that's never really had a dip.
Yeah, I was about to say resurgence. It's like
because like he was 80s doing amazing.
Yep.
And then Matrix was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, still is.
And then and now John Wick.
Oh my God.
Is just
it's so good. You expect it to be kind of dumb and silly, and it knows that you expect it to be dumb and silly.
Right.
And it's a fucking
great
action. Series.
I just love the action.
Dude, they go over the top. Somebody needs to go over the top.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and there's no better person to do it than this man right here because he dedicates himself to the art.
Yeah.
This man has taken time to learn jiu-jitsu and judo.
He's a great action star. Speaking of, why hasn't he been in the Expendables yet? They should get him in the Expendables.
The Expendables don't deserve KEANU. I'm sorry.
True. It's true. But anyway, another thing that KEANU is known for in a movie very near and dear to my heart is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Whoa!
And their sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where they play chess against death. Yeah. Whoa. And it's just been announced after many, many years of speculation.
I can't believe they're doing it.
They are doing a Bill and Ted's 3. Now, this is KEANU Reeves as Ted and Alex Winter as Bill in the original Accidental Adventure. This is actually a screenshot from the very end, the last scene there. This is both Keanu and Alex only like a month ago. And there they are, ready for their roles.
Keanu just doesn't age.
No. Alex looks great too, though. I mean, it's going to be great. For the fans of the movie ends with them saving the future with the power of rock and roll.
I love the shirts that they're wearing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. They literally saved the future with the power of rock and roll. And now it is the future, and we get to see how that happens. It's mind-blowingly cool, and I cannot wait for that. So happy birthday to Keanu on Sunday. On Monday, September 3rd, three-time Olympic gold medalist Shaun White is only going to be 32 years old.
That's crazy, man.
This dude is nuts. He holds the record for the most medals in Winter Olympics and the X Games in his sport, and I think ever, period.
That's crazy.
He's crazy. He is a snowboarder by trade. Obviously, that's what he was winning the gold medals for this year, and the previous one, and the previous one, and the previous one. But he's also a skateboarder. He's very good at that. And he's also a musician. He's a guitarist in the band Bad Things. So I don't know where he finds the time to just relax. I don't think he ever relaxes. But he's always out there. He's incredibly cool to watch when he's doing his sports. He's also a surfer because obviously I think anything out with a board he's just good at. Watching the Olympics with Shaun this year was incredible. He has the record for the highest score ever on the half pipe. He got a 97.75, which is the highest score ever awarded.
By the way, for as successful and awesome as this guy is, you never see him on TMZ.
Never.
No sex scandals,
Nope.
nothing. He is whistle clean. This dude is an obviously stand-up dude.
He did have a tiny Me Too moment, but it was squashed. But yeah, he is a stand-up dude. So a happy birthday to Shaun on Monday. On Tuesday, September 4th, happy 50th birthday to the one and only John DiMaggio. And I put this picture up here just to give you a taste of his guy's career already in voice acting. It's nuts. You definitely know him as Bender from Futurama or Jake the dog from Adventure Time. But look at this cast of characters. He's been the Joker. He's been Aquaman. He's been that guy from Metal Gear Solid. Gears of War. Gears of War, that's the one. Video games, animation. He is everywhere. And you've probably heard me say this before, and you're probably sick of it. One of my favorite documentaries of all time he made called I Know That Voice, and it's all about the voice acting community. And it's just incredible. If you like voice acting or you're interested in it, you should totally watch that documentary. And just this guy can do everything. Any of these characters and more. Like, this is just a taste of what he does. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of voices in his head. So happy birthday to him. Finally, Wednesday, September 5th, a very happy 67th birthday to Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is another one of those guys that I could say is having a resurgence in his career, but I don't think his career has ever really slowed down.
The dude is a freaking powerhouse of acting. I mean,
even his bad movies are great. Like Multiplicity.
So good. I like pizza.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's hilarious.
It's fun to watch him, but even like the new movies that he's done, like Birdman and The Founder, he's
The
still
Founder.
a killer.
What a great movie that was all about. All about McDonald's. But obviously iconic roles of his. He still is my favorite Batman. I think he embodied. Again, I've made this argument before. I just think Michael Keaton embodied both roles the best. Batman, Spider-Man, these roles are hard because you have to be the person outside of the superhero and the superhero. They're two different things. You could disagree with me. That's fine. I'm just saying he in my opinion, he's still the best Batman.
No, I couldn't take him seriously, man.
That's fine. Also, one of the most iconic roles ever that he's ever done, is Mr. Beetlejuice right there.
Oh, dude.
So good, so iconic. They keep talking about wanting to remake it or making a sequel or whatever, and it's just like, first of all, don't remake it, because whoever's going to have to be Beetlejuice has the biggest shoes ever to fill, and it's just, you're not going to do it. And if you try to do a sequel, it's like, I don't know.
You know who would have made a good Beetlejuice if he stayed alive is Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. You're right.
Man, that would have been great.
You're right. But recent roles that Michael has done that completely blew me away, and I think he almost stole this movie, was in the very recent Spider-Man Homecoming when he played the Vulture.
Yeah, he did a good
And
job.
He was excellent, to the point where you get done watching that movie and you're like, that's how a villain needs to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too over the top. It's just enough over the top. It's just enough real human.
Hey, yeah, he was so believable as like, oh, this is a dude who just found the wrong path.
And I was so excited to watch this movie because I just wanted to see Tom Holland be Spider-Man for 2 hours, which was great.
Yeah.
But it was almost stolen by this man, and that just shows you the caliber of this actor. And can't say enough good things about Michael Keaton. Happy birthday to him on Wednesday. Let's frickin' roast something.
I smell a roast.
Does it smell like watered down coffee? Because that's what it sounds like, dude.
Yeah. I also miss the roast. I miss the show. I miss you guys. Like, taking a week off was hard. Like, or 2 weeks off from the show. I miss getting to do these segments and getting mad about
Instead,
stuff.
we just yell at each other.
It's true. You know what makes me mad?
You know what? We didn't really yell at each other at all.
You
were giving me bad directions the whole time, and I didn't yell at you once.
True. That was not true. But anyway, so this week on the roast, I found this. Apparently, this isn't a brand new trend. This has been going on for a while. It's the first I've ever heard of it. First I've ever heard of this. Coffee and tea together in a drink. Have you guys heard of this? Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a thing. I did some digging, and around the world, it's actually been around for a little bit. More often than not, let me just preface this then. More often than not, what I'm talking about is it's a light roast coffee paired with a green tea.
It sounds like one of two things to me. Either that's tea that's somewhat drinkable, or it's coffee that's watered down and horrible.
I'm going to ask you this then. You are not a tea drinker. You're not a fan of tea.
When I'm sick?
Yeah. But you wouldn't just get tea. Like hot tea.
I do when I go get Asian food. I get green tea. I like drinking green tea a lot.
Okay.
But,
so you're not. It's not like no tea, screw tea.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not like the tea Nazi.
Because
here.
I enjoy a hot cup.
But I would never put that shit in coffee. What are you doing to your coffee?
I know.
Why are you drinking a light roast to begin with?
It seemed weird to me too. But in digging it up, apparently a very popular drink in Hong Kong is called Yung Yung, and it's 3 parts coffee and 7 parts Hong Kong style milk tea, which is a black tea blended with evaporated or condensed milk. So it's this very sweet kind of syrupy tea.
But that's a really strong tea.
Very strong tea, and then 3 parts coffee. You're just kind of putting a little bit of coffee in there.
I could see where that would work.
I actually, next time we're down in the city, I want to find it.
I would actually
we could probably find that down in New York City.
That sounds like something you might end up with something latte-like.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's another thing called that's tea with coffee that's found in Ethiopia, and they've been drinking this for years, and it's called sprees. And it's basically the same kind of thing. It's like a sweeter kind of tea, strong tea, mixed with a coffee. And then in America, in various coffee shops, again, I've never heard of this, but there's a thing called a dirty chai. Have you ever heard of a dirty chai? A dirty chai is not a sexual move, which it sounds like it is. It is.
If it was a sexual move, what would it be, Jeff?
That's for Death Wish After Dark, people. But it's basically a chai latte with a shot of espresso in it. Again, I feel like that's fine. Like, I don't see really, like, that really switching the flavor profile that much.
That's not too... I mean, but if you're looking for a cup of coffee... That's not the thing you should be going
right.
for.
So green tea lattes are also gaining popularity.
That sounds gross to me, by the way.
Me too, which is really just green tea, sugar, and frothed milk.
Gross.
That just sounds gross.
Gross.
But fans of this beverage say by combining the tea and the coffee, you can create entirely new flavor profiles depending on the coffee and tea you use.
Yeah.
In fact,
shitty ones.
Multiple sites that I went to said that what you want to do if you're looking to do this at home, instead of going out and paying for this, is you want to go and buy a couple different brands of green tea, find the one you like, and try a couple different brands of light roast coffee, find the one you like, and then pair them together. And
then realize you've wasted a bunch of time in your life, and you can just die now.
Do you think this will continue to be a thing, or do you think this is a fad? No, I'm not. I just want to preface that question. I'm not saying that from the world at large. Let's talk about just America, because if these popular drinks are like Ethiopia and Hong Kong, I'm sure they'll continue and have continued for years.
Those two things sound good, and I could see that catching on later on in our pop culture, but mixing green tea or just regular black tea with coffee, that's not. It's kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like the same analogy would be like, I want beer and wine together.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like, I think they're both great, and I could even drink a beer and then have a glass of wine. Same thing, like have a cup of coffee and then have a cup of tea.
Or even with a dirty chai, it sounds like you're putting a shot in a beer.
Right.
Which is done, but not regularly, and it's kind of a dumb move.
It's kind of a dumb move. I don't understand what the benefit is of combining them. I mean, the flavor profile of coffee, as we are so into, is infinite.
Yes.
You know? So, I mean, you can really have a lot of fun trying different types of coffee.
I've had coffees that taste like tea.
Right.
I mean, sometimes with light roast, they end up becoming like a tea.
Yeah.
But,
and tea the same way. Like, tea culture is huge. People, like, not just going to the store and buying, Lipton packets and putting it in hot water. Like, getting, like, the different ingredients that make up what tea actually is and having your own steeper.
Yeah, I got the little tea ball.
Yeah, and steeping it. That culture is huge. So, again, the possibilities are infinite when you want to be making your own teas. So why mix them? I just think it's weird, right? Like, that's weird. Tell us in the comments if you've heard of this or if you've tried it.
Or if you would try it.
Yeah, or if you would try it.
But what I'm really curious about this Yun Yang and also that Sprees in Ethiopia. Those two things I would try, because that sounds like you're just, I mean, with the Yun Yang, it sounds like you're just adding cream and sugar.
Right.
With a different layer into your coffee. And the Sprees kind of sounds like the same thing.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, but like taking a light roast and mixing it with a tea, it just sounds watery and gross.
Like, I'm not even mad. I just don't get it.
I'm a little mad.
That's your superpower, though. You're always angry. You're like the Hulk.
Angry gets shit done.
Angry gets shit done. Ooh, through line.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Alrighty, D-Man. First on the docket is something that you actually snuck onto this show months ago and nobody noticed.
Yeah, I've been working on this for a little while. With our vacuum sealed canisters, you may have noticed in the past, it was just one small logo.
Yeah.
One-sided, one color. And that was the printing capability of that particular vendor for a while.
Yeah.
But I pushed them around long enough until we developed this, which took a little bit of developing and quite a bit of time to make because I bought a lot of them, like a lot. Yeah. So we're going to have them for a little while.
Which is awesome.
Which is awesome. I just wanted to make sure everybody got one of these because I love these vacuum seal canisters. They're high quality.
Can't say
they
enough.
Look good. They're crazy useful for multiple different reasons.
Useful.
But check it out. It's two-sided.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is
Two
beautiful.
colors.
But it's same technology on the inside, keeps your coffee fresh forever. It's awesome. We're really excited. We've been wanting to roll these out for a while, and finally
this week.
Yep,
tomorrow.
They'll be available starting tomorrow by themselves, or also in our brand new starter pack. We tried this recently to great success, so we're doing it again now with the brand new vacuum sealed canister, and this is all the stuff you get in the starter pack: 2018 mug, Death Wish trucker hat, the Reaper pin, the vacuum sealed canister, and a bag of coffee, however you want it, whole bean, ground, K-cup, however you want to do it. This is the perfect gift, people. It really is. And how cool is it to get this from somebody?
Yeah, or if you're like, I'm a fan of Death Wish, and I want like the gear that'll get me started. Like I love Death Wish. I haven't gotten really into it yet. And what's the thing I should get to like really show my love for Death Wish? This is the thing.
This is it. So we're really excited about that. Starting tomorrow, that'll be available on the website. The starter kit won't be forever because I know some of the stuff like the Reaper pin is a limited thing. So if that ends up selling out, if you guys are all buying it, we'll probably revamp the starter kit and do a different type
the
of
Reaper
kit.
pin and the hat were pretty decently low inventory. So this will be a limited thing.
But this guy isn't. This guy's going to be staying there for a while. So it's starting tomorrow. You can go grab it, but don't worry. It'll be there waiting for you if you can't get it tomorrow. Speaking of stuff that's coming out, though, and we've talked about it, you guys got to follow the blog, like I keep telling you, because you see all the new releases. Follow Death Wish Coffee on Instagram. You see that kind of stuff, too. You're watching the show. That's something that you're doing great. But Labor Day mug, we're doing a set. Here they are. I'll put up a nice picture of both of these, the set that we're doing. But it is awesome. It is the Grind It Out Till Death logo that Thomas Dragonetti designed, and it is our celebration of laborers, of Labor Day. And this is why we wanted to do it as a set, because you can enjoy your beverage along with your friend or your coworker or your loved one, and it's pretty awesome. Here's something that you guys don't know, though, and I don't even know if Dustin knows this. He does. He does all the inventory. He knows this. This is going to be 2 separate sets. You're going to be able to choose either the red and blue set. This is a nice dark blue glaze, and then the red one. Or you can get a double red set. Same mug, just double red. And we're releasing those both on Labor Day. We're not going to lie to you guys. It's the Labor Day set. You know, like, we're always a little coy when it comes out to mug releases and stuff like that. Labor Day, people, you've got it off from work probably, so you can sit by your phone and get ready when we release it. But here's a little bit of extra info for you. We say this a lot. If you're not a subscriber, today, right now, is the perfect time to become a subscriber to Death Wish Coffee. That's not the email subscriber. That's the coffee subscription. You can set it up where you get coffee, every week, every couple weeks, every month, every couple months. You can set it up for however quantity you want, and that gets delivered to your door. It's one click. You don't have to worry about it. Subscribers get special stuff. Subscribers get the freebies. Every time we do freebies all the time, like sunglasses or pennants or comic books, some fun stuff like that. And you don't have to worry about making a purchase that day. If you're a subscriber, it just comes in your next subscription. And one of the coolest things that subscribers get is a day early on the mug releases. So Labor Day is Monday. Everybody is going to have a chance to get this mug set. But if you're a subscriber, your chance is Sunday.
And let me tell you, the release of this is quite limited.
Quite. This is probably our most limited mug release set that we've done in a while.
And subscribers are going to eat a lot of that up.
Yes.
So if you're a subscriber, good job. You're going to get this mug set. If not, become one, because you might not get this.
Yes, and you have until, honestly, you have until Saturday evening to become a subscriber. And we will make sure that you are included in that email on Sunday morning with the exclusive ability to order the mug set. But like I said, Monday, they're going to go live to everybody. And the other way that you can find out, subscribe to the newsletter, you're listening to the show. The third way is to get on our text message list. All you got to do, I'll put it right here, text MUGS to 484848, and every time we release a mug, the Deneen collectible mugs, not the diner mugs or some of our travel mugs or something like that, but when we do the Deneen limited edition mugs, you'll get a text message the minute they go live on our site with a link right to buy them. So if you're on your smartphone or your tablet or your smart device, you literally can get that text message, click buy now, and you're done. It's that easy. So can't express it enough, guys. Become a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, at least get on that text message list and the newsletter list. And we're excited. You guys are going to get a brand new mug set starting Monday.
Which one do you like more, Jeff?
I personally really like the red. I think it's just, I don't know. I like this red with the glaze, and I think if I were to choose between the red and the blue set and the double red set, I would get the double red set.
You're
leaning towards the blue?
You know, naturally, these are my colors. But sometimes the glaze runs so interestingly down these mugs, and I think this white glaze on this red mug is insanely interesting. It's almost marbled, and like the way this one in particular, it's running down the crease of the handle, and the way it runs on the inside of the mug is extremely interesting. I didn't at first, but I like these red mugs a little bit better.
So just so you know, super limited release coming out on Labor Day. You have 2 sets to choose from, the one you see before you, or just double that in your mind. And you can get whichever one you want, and it'll go quick, guys. I almost guarantee by Monday night they'll be all gone. So get on it if you want that mug set. That's our newest mug release. Finally, something that everybody's been waiting for, and that is coming out going to say within a week, probably, ish. Our pumpkin coffee. And we've told you guys we're really excited about this year because we upped production, and you're going to be able to get it in whole bean or in ground.
We've never done it in ground.
We've never done it in ground, but it's one of those things that we've kind of, tested the waters. The last couple years, we did this limited release to huge response from all of you. People love this to the point where they buy extra bags and put it in their freezer, just saving it throughout the year. I couldn't even find an unopened bag. There's like 2 or 3 unopened bags in the office, and they're all open because everybody's been drinking it because we all love it. But yeah, so we've decided this year, you know what? Let's try to up the ante a little bit, and we'll make a ground version as well because we know a lot of you guys out there don't, do the whole bean, and that's fine. So now you have 2 separate ways to get the pumpkin coffee. And once again, for all you haters out there, real quick, if you didn't read the blog, we got awesome blogs on deathwishcoffee.com that explain our process for making this. This is not pumpkin spice, okay, people? I know everybody uses that as the meme and the haterade out there on pumpkin spice. Everything's pumpkin spiced. It's because it's chemicals.
I don't blame them. I hate the insurgence of
pumpkin everything. Me too, and it's because people just use like a pumpkin spray of chemicals and they spray it on everything.
But I gotta say, there's a reason why, because actual pumpkin spice is quite delicious.
Yes,
and that's what you're getting.
That's what you're getting.
You're getting, and we do it uniquely too. We make our own chai here,
our own pumpkin chai,
which is just so incredible. And the smell of us roasting this here,
the warehouse it's like magic.
Even I was at the gym next door, and they're like, "What are you doing over there? It smells incredible."
It's so great. And so no chemicals, guys. No added anything. It's literally a pumpkin chai mixed with the world's strongest coffee that you know and love. And it makes for a great cup of coffee. In fact, if you use this and use Dustin's patented death-proof coffee recipe, it tastes like French toast.
I gotta bring that back.
Yeah, it's really good. So we're excited. All these new things, new canisters, new coffee, new mugs, so much new happening. We're happy to be back, guys. We got more stuff for you next week too, so you're not gonna want to miss it. So tune into the update next week. That's the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Dustin's just throwing everything. And one more time, guys, share this episode. Comment, share on the comments. One comment's going to be picked to win this set of mugs. It's our diner set that's sold out right now. I think maybe you could find 1 or 2 of them on Amazon, but they got the memes on the front, the logo on the back. They're dishwasher safe, made in America, awesome mugs. Yes, and all that. We're really excited to be back in the swing of things doing the show, guys. Again, I just got to tell you, we got so much awesome content when we were out on the West Coast. Can't wait for you guys to all see it. You'll see it all in the next couple
Jeff,
months.
I like to ask this question. What was your expectation of L.A. On a grading from 1 to 10?
Of the city or our trip?
Both mixed together.
Okay. My expectation was a 7.
And what was reality?
10.
It was a 10 for you.
Yeah.
There was no way that trip could have gotten better for you.
No, I mean, you go out and book something like this. I booked 16 interviews in 6 days. We had to travel a bunch. We drove down to San Diego for one of those days. Anything can go wrong. We're breaking down and setting up equipment. It's just Dustin and I. We don't have a cameraman. We don't have a sound guy. There's nothing. We're doing all of it ourselves. I just was expecting – I wasn't expecting disaster, but I was expecting maybe people cancel. I was expecting maybe losing a chord. I've done that. We've done that in bands all the time. You show up at a show and you get done playing a show and you're like, where'd my guitar cord go? I expected any of that. Nothing. It was incredible.
And on top of that, there were a lot of extra surprises.
A lot of them, yeah.
The interviews went incredibly well.
Yeah.
We made some new friends and some new fans.
Yeah.
And the car didn't break down.
Yeah,
which
it was
is always
great.
You never know with that.
It was excellent. And like I said, throughout the next couple months, you guys are going to get to experience a lot of that with us as we roll out all of that awesome content. One final time, if you guys want to follow us on social media, please, please, please do. It's very easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And don't forget, tomorrow is our brand new episode of the podcast, episode 89, with drummer Jess Margera of the band CKY. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We had a lot of fun talking to him, and we reveal some really cool stuff about the band coming up. And We'll be back next week, guys, with a brand new show and a brand new podcast. Bye.
Cheers.